Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. It's that time again. Ba-da-da-da-da. Bow. Oh boy. Why is it still fucking giving me that same notification over and over again? Yes, I've seen that notification already. God damn it, it keeps giving me the same thing. It's really infuriating. Let's see, everything there is set. Alright. Bink! And dink! Work. There we go. Hello. I got it to work now. Good morning, y'all. Good freaking morning. I love the fact that we now have this as a system. It's really freaking funny that we can do that. Yes! Good morning. Once again. I am absolutely not that tired, actually. Surprisingly, I woke up very happily. Managed to actually eat breakfast, weirdly enough. I actually ate, which is the weirdest of things to happen. And it doesn't happen that often. I'll be real, it doesn't happen that often. I don't really eat in the mornings because I always feel sick afterwards, for whatever reason. I think it's a long ingrained thing that I've had, since I used to always wake up, get up, go out, and then get things done. Midday I would probably eat something small, or have a little drink and then go home. And then I would eat, when I could relax. That's how I would handle basically everything. But yes, today is the finale for the first broadcast season for the Midnight Zone broadcast. After that, it will go on a hiatus because I want to pursue some experimental stuff and hopefully fix some other things. For example, why is VR giving me a headache and everything else? If I can fix those, we can have more stuff regarding VR. I also want to pursue some other interesting tidbits like art and all that jazz. I have some subjects lined up of what I want to do with it, so I have some idea. There's some other things as well that I would like to pursue, which is certain types of, like, messing around with the videos, taking photos of certain places, and figuring out if we can actually, get something done with that. Because photography is one thing that I do like. You can take cool photos basically anywhere. But you have to get the thematic right. You have to get the stuff right. If you're using the wrong thing at the wrong place, it can make the world of difference. For example, you can have the highest quality world, but if you don't have something to match it, or the best quality that you're using with the camera and everything else, it can look so off and so wrong. For example, this place. You wouldn't be using a extremely high quality avatar to take a photo here now would ya? It would have to fit the aesthetic. Having an extremely realistic person here would look wrong. However, you can make that work by using filters and specific things, depending on how you're doing it. Certain ways to take the pictures can help out. That's just how it is. That's photography in a nutshell. It is a heck of a thing. And yes, this is the world music, by the way. This is from Katamari. The other thing that I want to pursue is figuring out if we can actually make or find some proper spooky places or scary stories, whatever the heck, for the future regarding these streams as well. We'll figure something out, get it going, get it working, have something unique going on, and just go from there, basically. Because the plan is to entertain you guys and also create something that is going to last for a longer period and isn't just going to dip out within the first week or day, basically. We want to face these things in a way that they're enjoyable to watch even after the streams are done. VODs and whatnot. And yeah, I'm rambling basically because I can. As soon as Zalms is ready, we will hop over there and we will begin the show in all earnest. I know this is like extremely early because it's like 30 minutes before the actual appointed time where it would normally start, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter too much. We do this as a thing where we can watch them backwards with VODs or when they're uploaded. Excuse me, hold up, I got a yawn. There we go. And eventually, we'll figure something cool out. I want to pursue art purely because I want to make, like, graffiti and stuff, but I want to learn how to specifically draw and paint stuff within VR as a unique style. Because a lot of people, when they already draw, they either do, like, the basic drawings of, like, black and white using just a regular pencil. They can draw on paper very beautifully. I love that. It's so beautiful. Other people can color things. They have some unique ways with ink. Then you got the digital people who can draw stuff very nicely with a drawing tablet and everything else. You got the desktop drawers or artists who actually can draw stuff with the desktop really beautifully. It's insane, actually. I don't know how they do it. I've been trying to figure that out, but I just don't get it. They are so good with it. But the one side I haven't seen much is artists who make like big art and everything else with VR graffiti or VR spray painting, whatever the heck. I don't see that often. There's a specific application where people do it, but I want to do it within VRC. The reason is because of the limitations. That's why I want to do it here. Because I feel like within those limitations you can grow very well and very easily. Because if you have a place where you have every single tool at your disposal already from the get-go, you're gonna get overwhelmed. You're not gonna find that thing that you really, really want. But if you do it within a niche limitation, you'll find a unique style, unique way to do things, and it will just work. And that's the most important thing, in my opinion, is to find your niche. Especially when it comes to your art style itself. For example, there's a whole world of difference between using a avatar spray painting system or a world spray painting system. Me, I've specialized in the avatar spray painting system, but I want to use the world spray painting system, which is in that one graffiti world, which I kept going to when I was doing the graffiti streams in the past. But the tag challenges of going to random worlds and finding spots to tag, that's something I want to keep doing as well. And I want to return that as a series. And I want to evolve and finally create something that is kinda insane for what it is, for what it's worth. That might have to wait until the Steam frame comes out and I can get my hands on it because it'll be more comfortable that way. But we will have to wait and see what happens in the future. There's some other things that take priority before that, basically. Which is weird to say. But even then. Yes. That is basically my thought process currently that's going on. We will also pursue different things in different ways, and we'll see how that works. Because, for example, this season for the Midnight Broadcast has been this broadcasting season, I should say, has been a good test bed on how to evolve these stories, how to evolve reading them, doing them, involving people in them, and then adding a little bit more to it. Because it doesn't need to be just, it's telling scary, spooky stories. It could be sharing scary, spooky encounters. Horror stuff, talking about horror media, horror programs, games, music. Because that's actually one thing. Music in horror is something that people do not talk about nearly enough. It's a weird, hard thing to talk about. Because genuinely, you wouldn't listen to something that makes you uncomfortable, or scared, or spooked out. And in terms of music, how would you go about that? That's an interesting thing. Anyways, you saw it, we're gonna get going. Let's fucking do it, mate. Bing bong bang, bing bong bong, bing bong. Let's see, is my voice set correctly? Yes. Dink! Whoa, that's different again. Holy shit, they've changed stuff. Again! Hi, how are ya?
Hi there.
Dude, where's my car?
Don't worry about it.
Fuck! This is a cool place.
Well, friends, this is it. You've reached the end of the road. This is the final episode of Volume 1 of the Midnight Broadcast. Thank you, everybody, for joining us so far on this journey. It has been a wild ride of really good stories, really bad stories, fucking creepy-ass videos, long discussions of all sorts of nonsense, and I could not be here without you guys. So thank you again for supporting me in my little endeavor to share with you my passion for all things scary, and also trying to grind for a new PC, but that's not
We'll get there.
eventually.
Eventually, hopefully.
So I got some good stories for you guys today. So let's fucking take a look at one of them right now. Now, Sleep, tell me, are you familiar with the concept of a tulpa?
Tulpa? That's the
Mhm.
weird... Isn't that the spirit that's basically stuck to somebody?
Sort of. It is the concept that belief will make it so. Now, imagine, if you will, the belief of so many people so strongly in the boogeyman, right? People believe in this entity so vehemently that it just manifests and becomes corporeal, becomes an actual living, breathing creature.
The
That
self-fulfilling
is
prophecy.
what a tulpa is. Basically. I think the best example of this is, there was like some movie. I don't want to say The Bye-Bye Man, but I think that might be what it is. But it just goes to show the whole concept of a tulpa is that belief is a powerful motivator for lots of things, and that is the name of this story today.
There's a
tulpa.
funny tidbit to that as well. The belief that something, if you believe hard enough that it becomes real, is there was a case in America. Are you aware of a certain person called the Mad Gasser?
I believe I have heard of them, yes.
It was, I don't remember exactly where it was in America. I can just quickly look it up. It will take me more than fucking a few seconds. It was in Mattoon, Illinois, during the mid-1940s, where an event of mass hysteria caused people to think that there was somebody gassing everybody out there, where people were collapsing and everything else because they were so-called smelling something and something was happening and people were collapsing here and there. It was a massive belief that there was actually somebody doing it, and people started seeing a person there that was dressed up in specific ways, kind of like the boogeyman.
I see. Yes, fucking, if someone really, truly, for really and for truly, in their heart of hearts, believes something, anything is possible. And that is what is, I'm assuming, going to be the whole pension of this story. It is simply titled Tulpa. So let's get in it. And hey, thanks for being here. Last year, I spent 6 months participating in what I was told was a psychological experiment. I found an ad in my local paper for imaginative people wanting to make good money. Since it was the only ad that week that I was remotely qualified for, I gave them a call and we arranged an interview. They told me that all I would have to do is stay in a room, alone, with sensors attached to my head to read my brain activity. While I was there, I would visualize a double of myself. They call it my tulpa. It seemed easy enough, and I agreed to do it as soon as they told me how much I'd be paid. The next day, it began. They brought me to a simple room, gave me a bed, and then attached sensors to my head and hooked them into a little black box on the table beside me. They talked me through the process of visualizing my double again, and explained that if I got bored or restless instead of moving around, I should visualize my double moving around, or try to interact with him, and so on. The idea was to keep him with me the entire time I was in the room. I had trouble with it for the first few days. It was more controlled than any sort of daydreaming I'd done before. I'd imagine my double for a few minutes, then grow distracted, but by the fourth day, I managed to keep him quote-unquote present for the entire 6 hours I was there. They told me I was doing very well. The second week, they gave me a different room, with wall-mounted speakers. They told me they wanted to see if I could still keep the tulpa with me in spite of distracting stimuli. The music was discordant, ugly, and unsettling, and it made the process a little more difficult, but I managed nonetheless. The next week, they played even more unsettling music, punctuated with shrieks, feedback loops, what sounded like a old-school modem dialing up, and guttural noises speaking of some foreign language, or what might have been some kind of language. I just laughed it off. I was a pro by then. After about a month, I started to get bored. To liven things up, I began interacting with my doppelganger. We'd have conversations, or play rock, paper, scissors, or I'd imagine him juggling, or breakdancing, or whatever caught my fancy at the moment. I asked the researchers if my foolishness would adversely affect their study, but they encouraged me nonetheless. So, we played and communicated, and that was fun for a while. And then it got a little strange. I was telling him about my first date one day, and he corrected me. I'd said my date was wearing a yellow top, and he told me it was in fact a green one instead. I thought about it for a second and realized he was right. It creeped me out quite thoroughly, and after my shift that day, I talked to the researcher about it. You're using the thought form to access your subconscious, they explained. You knew on some level that you were wrong. You subconsciously corrected yourself. Nothing more, nothing less. What had been creepy was suddenly kind of cool. I was basically talking to my subconscious. It took some practice, but I found that I could question my tulpa and access all sorts of memories. I could make it quote whole pages of books I'd read once, years before, or things I was taught and immediately forgot in high school. It was honestly kind of awesome. That was around the time I started, quote, calling up my double outside of the research center. Not often at first, but I was so used to imagining him by now that it almost seemed odd not to see him. So, whenever I was bored, I'd visualize my double. Eventually, I started doing it almost all the time. It was amusing to take him along like an invisible friend. I imagined him when I was hanging out with friends or visiting my mom. I even brought him along on a date once. I didn't need to speak to him out loud, so we were able to carry out conversations and no one was the wiser. I know that sounds strange, but it was kind of fun. Not only was he a walking repository of everything I knew and had forgotten, but he also seemed more in touch with me than I did at times. He had an uncanny grasp of the minutiae of body language that I didn't even realize I was picking up on. For example, I'd thought the date I brought him along was going badly, but he pointed out how she was laughing a little too hard at my jokes, leaning towards me as I spoke, and a bunch of other subtle cues I wasn't consciously picking up on. I listened, and let's just say that date went very well. By the time I'd been at the research center for about 4 months, he was with me almost constantly. The researchers approached me one day after my shift and asked if I'd stop visualizing him. I denied it, and they seemed pleased. I silently asked my double if he knew what prompted that, but he just shrugged it off. And so did I. I withdrew a little from the world at that point. I was having trouble relating to people. It seemed to me that they were so confused and unsure of themselves, while I had a manifestation of myself to confer with. It made socializing pretty awkward. Nobody else seemed aware of the reasons behind their actions, why some things made them mad and others made them laugh. They didn't know what moved them, but I did. Or at least I could ask myself and get an answer. A friend confronted me one evening, pounded at the door until I answered, and came in fuming and swearing up a storm. "You haven't answered when I called you in fucking weeks, you dick!" he yelled. "What's your fucking problem?" I was about to apologize to him and probably would have offered to hit the bars with him that night, but my tulpa grew suddenly furious. "Hit him," it said. Before I knew what I was doing, I had. I heard his nose break. He fell to the floor and came up swinging. We beat each other up and down my apartment. I was more furious than I had ever been, and I was not merciful. I knocked him to the ground and gave him 2 savage kicks to the ribs. And that was when he fled, hunched over and sobbing. The police were over at my place a few minutes later, but I told them that he had been the instigator. And since he wasn't around to refute me, they let me off with a warning. My tulpa was grinning the entire time. We spent the night crowing about my victory and sneering over how badly I'd beaten my friend. It wasn't until morning, when I was checking out my black eye and cut lip in the mirror, that I remembered what had set me off. My double was the one who'd grown furious, not me. I'd been feeling guilty and honestly a little ashamed, but he goaded me into a vicious fight with a concerned friend. He was present, of course, and knew my thoughts. "You don't need him anymore. You don't need anyone else," he told me. I felt my skin crawl. I explained this all to the researchers who employed me, but they just laughed it off. "You can't be scared of something that you're imagining," one told me. My double stood beside him and nodded his head, then smirked at me. I tried to take their words to heart, but over the next few days I found myself growing more and more anxious around my tulpa. It seemed that he was changing. He looked taller, more menacing. His eyes twinkled with mischief, and I saw malice in his near constant smile. No job was worth losing my mind over, I decided. If he was out of control, I would put him down. I was so used to him at that point that visualizing him was an automatic process. So I started trying my damnedest not to do it. It took a few days, but started to work somewhat. I could get rid of him for hours at a time, but every time he came back, he seemed worse. His skin seemed ashen, his teeth more pointed. He hissed and gibbered and threatened and swore and spat at me. The discordant music I'd been listening to for months seemed to accompany him everywhere. Even when I was at home, I'd relax and I'd slip up, no longer concentrating on not seeing him, and there he'd be. And that howling noise with him. I was still visiting the research center and spending my 6 hours there. I needed the money, and I thought they weren't aware that I was now actively not visualizing my tulpa. I was wrong. After my shift one day, about 5.5 months in, 2 impressive men grabbed and restrained me, and someone in a lab coat jabbed a hypodermic needle into my body. I woke up from my stupor back in the room, strapped into the bed, music blaring, with my doppelganger standing over me, cackling. He hardly looked human anymore. His features were twisted, his eyes were sunken in their sockets, filmed over like a corpse's eyes. He was so much taller than me, but hunched over in a sickly stoop. His hands were curled and the fingernails were like talons. He was, in short, fucking terrifying. I tried to will him away, but I just couldn't seem to concentrate. He giggled and tapped the IV in my arm. I thrashed in my restraints as best I could, but I could hardly move at all. They're pumping you full of the good shit, I think. How's the mind? All fuzzy. He leaned closer and closer as he spoke. I gagged. His breath smelled like spoiled meat. I tried to focus, but I just couldn't banish him from my sight. The next few weeks were terrible. Every so often, someone in a doctor's coat would come in and inject me with something, or force feed me a pill. It kept me dizzy and unfocused, and sometimes left me hallucinating or delusional. My thought form was still present, constantly mocking me. He interacted with, or perhaps caused, my delusions. I hallucinated that my mother was there scolding me, and then he cut her throat. Her blood showered across my face. God, it was so real that I could taste it. The doctors never spoke to me. I begged, at times screamed, hurled invectives, demanded answers. They never spoke to me. They may have talked to my tulpa, my personal monster. I'm just not sure. I was so doped up and confused that it may have been more than just delusion. But I remember them talking with him. I grew convinced that he was the real one, and that I was the thought form. He encouraged that line of thought at times, mocked me at others. Another thing that I pray was a delusion. The fact that he could touch me. More than that, he could hurt me. He'd poke and prod at me if he felt I wasn't paying enough attention to him. Once he grabbed my face and squeezed me until I told him I loved him. Another time he slashed my forearm with one of his talons. I still have a scar. Most days I can convince myself that I injured myself. And just hallucinated that he was responsible. Most days. Then, one day, he was telling me a story about how he was going to gut everyone I loved, starting with my sister. And then he paused. A querulous look crossed his face, and he reached out and touched my head, like my mother used to when I was feverish. He stayed still for a long time and then smiled. All thoughts are creative, he told me. Then he walked out the door. 3 hours later, I was given an injection and passed out. I awoke unrestrained. Shaking, I made my way to the door and found it unlocked. I walked out into the empty hallway, and then I ran. I ran like hell. I stumbled more than once, but I made it down the stairs and out into the lot behind the building. There, I collapsed, weeping like a child. I knew I had to keep moving, but I just couldn't manage it. I got home, eventually. I don't remember how. I locked the door, shoved a dresser against it, took an extra long shower, and slept for a day and a half. Nobody came for me in the night, and nobody came the next day. Or the one after that. It was over. I'd spent a week locked in that room, and it felt like a century. I'd withdrawn so much from my life beforehand that nobody even had known I was missing. The police didn't find anything. The research center was empty when they searched it. The paper trail fell apart. The names I'd given them were just aliases. Even the money I'd received was apparently untraceable. I recovered as much as one can. I don't leave the house much, and I have panic attacks when I do. I cry a lot, and I don't sleep much. My nightmares are terrible. It's over, I tell myself. I survived. I used the concentration those bastards taught me to convince myself. It works. Sometimes. Not today, though. 3 days ago, I got a call from my mother. There's been a tragedy. My sister's the latest victim in a spree of killings, the police say. The perpetrator mugs his victims, then guts them. The funeral was this afternoon. It was as lovely a service as a funeral could be, I suppose. I was a little distracted, though. All I could hear was music coming from somewhere in the distant, discordant, unsettling stuff that sounds like feedback and shrieking and a modem dialing up. I hear it still, even now. A little louder now. And that was Tulpa. Ooh, man, that one was creepy as fuck.
That was a good one as well. Like, the idea of
That was
these
very
guys...
good.
It like, starts out completely fine about, like, trying to just do a little test on, like, oh, hey, can you actually focus? Can you see this?
Mhm.
And then they... I don't know what their end goal was. Was it to just create a maniac to just do something? And where the hell did they go?
I'm not sure. I believe there is a similar piece of media on YouTube. I think it's an analog ARG where you're like like some kind of like service announcement about forming tulpas, or as they also put it in the story, thought forms. And I think there was one segment in those videos about a woman who was pregnant, but when she received an ultrasound, there was nothing there. She manifested a baby so much that she became pregnant with a thought form.
That sounds familiar.
It really does. God, I cannot for the life of me remember what it is, but if you guys find it, I highly recommend watching it. Fucking love me a good old fucking analog horror ARG. I believe it was Greylock? I could be wrong, so fact check me, chat, but I think it might be Greylock. Definitely look into it. But yeah, I love that one. I love that. It's got elements of the ever classic Russian sleep experiment. You know, the story that I pretty much started off here with. 'Cause that's just a typical like evil experiment, like psychological torture trope, is using discordant music and sounds to fuck with a person's mind, because that is the biggest thing besides sight that will fuck you up, like, mentally, is hearing.
Yeah, it's used even in modern day by the United States Army during a siege on an embassy in, I believe it was Iran at one point, where they played rock music extremely loud and non-stop for a week straight.
Shit, I'll even admit myself, chat, I clearly, like most of us are, I'm not exactly mentally sound, and I have received help for it in the past, thankfully. But even to this day, now, I find myself not being able to sleep in absolute silence. I cannot do it. I have to have some kind of white noise, not static white noise, because that fucks me up kind of weirdly, but like natural white noise, like an AC or a fan, and then I put music on in the background.
Sounds of the sea, some kind of sound.
Yeah, some kind of like rain noises, wind blowing, blizzard sounds, something. Because not only is it just like a mental thing, but I also have quite bad tinnitus from when I was, my younger days. So the ringing in my ears can like kind of get to me, and it just makes me like really unnerved and uncomfortable. And I just can't sleep that way. If you guys, chat, can sleep in absolute silence, I'm sorry, you guys are freaks. How do you do that? How do you do that? Is the silence not loud? What's wrong with you?
I used to be able to do that years ago, but unfortunately, due to all the shit that happened to me and all the trauma that I've gone through, I literally can't do it because I will have very bad sleep paralysis. which manifests as a form of fucking creature, which annoys me. Because it's like, if I try to sleep in total
Creature.
silence, doesn't matter if there's somebody next to me or anything else, it's still gonna happen if there's no sound, where I will not be able to move. I cannot open my eyes. It starts with this, like, croaking sound in a distance that slowly gets louder and louder and louder, and then I can physically feel it crawling closer until it's right in my fucking ear.
Yeah, it's not fun. It is not fun, I tell you what.
Yeah, and
Oh
it is
boy.
literally just a mental thing. It's something that happened because of multiple things. I think it was, as a child, I had a very overly active imagination, which led to me having problems with the darkness. Because I would constantly be like, oh hey, there's something fucking there. I can't fucking do this. And I would hear
Yeah.
sounds that weren't there. Which was really fucky. Because there's no way to prove if those sounds are there or not.
It's like not cool.
Yeah, and the fact is, I've visited doctors before, and they have said that my eyesight is way too good for what it is, and my hearing as well, which is kind of insane. But I have a balance that has been fucked up in my hearing. Left side cannot hear, low sounds properly, and the right side can't hear high sounds properly. So the balance is off.
Right. Yeah, it's hearing is such a big part of like psychology and shit. It's like not cool.
Yeah.
Like at all.
Yeah, and the one thing that sets people off the most is just sound. Like, the basic thing is, if you suddenly clap your hands in front of somebody very loudly, it makes them perturbed. If you clap them to the side of their ears, they will lose balance.
It reminds me offhandedly of a it was a singular scene. It was like a throwaway gag in Portal 2, where GLaDOS is, tormenting Chell as usual while she's moving through the fucking testing chambers, and GLaDOS is saying some shit like, oh, did you know that people with a guilty conscience react negatively towards loud sounds, and then plays like a loud as fuck train horn. Like, yeah, of course you're gonna get startled from that. GLaDOS, anybody would get startled by that. What the fuck?
Fucking honk!
Shonk. Yeah, exactly. Oh boy. Alright. Fucking let's move on to our next story. Okay.
Hello, Fox.
Hello. Welcome in. You're just in time for our second story of the night. This one is called When I Spat Out My Name. Many things changed for me when I spat out my name. I wouldn't have done it on purpose, but there it was on the floor, breathing in and out. It was still wet from whatever it was, but trying to carry on its function. I knew I couldn't put it back, so I stuck it in a trash can and taped it up 100 layers thick. The first thing I noticed was how light I had become. The slightest pivot on my feet, bones would fracture. I didn't mind. Didn't hurt. Who would be in pain? I found I could make myself very flat and spend my nights crushed up into every crevice I could find. At times, I would break all my bones and hide myself in the smallest crack I could find. Hunger and thirst did not come to meet me, so I never left the house. For a time, I watched films. Hours and hours of whatever I could find, seeing as I could not sleep. Dysfunction, sleep, was within reach. I had only forgone it due to the dreams, teeth sinking into flesh like tender fruit still off a branch. There came a time when I could watch nothing more. While I found that I could easily pretend I was the characters I watched, there occurred the moment when the screen turned black and I saw my reflection. At that point, all screens and mirrors had to be torn out and broken into shards. These shards proved too risky to have around, so they were dropped into the toilet and drowned in red paint. Years passed in my home without interruption. I'd linger in the hallways, crawl naked on the floor. The only visitors I ever received did not remember me. Who would they remember? They were my brothers, but they no longer knew this. That evening, they had this or that to drink. I wandered half-consciously down a derelict side street and caught sight of my house. I suppose, to those with names, my house was abandoned. No mail was delivered after all. They puttered around the empty property, talking about trivial things. My younger brother turned over flagstones, watching the pillbugs scatter. My older brother was lecturing, as usual, about steps he ought to take to turn his life around. They heard my back door open. The younger, possessed by curiosity, cautiously ventured in, down the darkened hallway. He heard the slightest shift in the kitchen and followed it. What could he have seen? My eyes were sprawling jet-black pupil tunnels surrounded by shattered, glassy blue. My mouth was like paper torn away. My teeth were a joke, a novelty bereft of its fucking punchline. He attempted to scream until I reached into him. My hands broke through his skin so easily. I removed as many pieces as I could, but only grew more confused as I threw them against the wall. In response to that last wet squelch, my older called after my younger until the name was no longer there. I had eaten it. At that point, who could he be calling? Early the next morning, before the sun, my older brother woke up with quite the headache. He now lived the life of an only child. As far as he knew, this was always the case. A sound had roused him from his sleep, so soft that it could have been only dreamed. He shuffled to the bathroom sink to wash his face. I came pouring out of the spout. Not knowing what he had seen, he stooped to vomit in the tub, but I was down the drain. When he ran back into his room, I was there too. He closed his eyes and bashed his head into the floor as if buried alive, thinking there was a nightmare from which to wake himself up from. The last thing he saw was the two brothers he never had. He and I were in my throat. There is no word for how we are now. Ooh, that one was... What the fuck? That one was
a
weird as hell.
rhyme. What the hell?
I like that, though. I like that a lot. That was really creepy.
I wonder what that was, like, referring to at the end of the day.
I'm not sure. It was so abstract, but honestly, I kind of like it like that. It leaves you with just enough, for your imagination just to take over and, like, run wild with it. Because I'm imagining... basically just a liquid person. That's it. That's basically it.
Yeah, I'm just wondering because like they said spat out the name and then ate the name and then the person can't remember because the names don't exist no more.
I wouldn't take it like it's some kind of hidden meaning, but whatever.
It sounds weird because it sounds like the dude just did. Oh. Maybe the dude was under psychosis and did something unforgivable and then gained lucidity for a second.
Maybe. Don't know. You little fucking
Could
rat.
also be a metaphor for PTSD.
Sorry. Sorry about that. I doubt it, but fucking my cat knocked over my goddamn plush. Son of a bitch.
Scared the hell out of you.
No, fucking he's being a little rat.
Fair enough.
My Lulu Yam plush, sad.
Also, I can
Now he's
I can
dirty.
tell you this: the strawberry shot monster, not worth it.
I wouldn't.
It tastes like regular
doubt it.
monster, which has a slight hint of strawberry, and it costs almost twice the normal monster.
Wow. That's stupid. Okay, whatever. Fucking. Oh god. Apologies, chat. I didn't exactly sleep very well last night. Ugh. Or I guess I
Jeez.
should say technically this morning, because fun fact about me, I don't sleep during the nighttime. Like, for me, while these streams are taking place in the morning time for sleep, these are about, yeah, it's already midnight for me. It is now Thursday for me. So I usually stay asleep during the day. It's just nicer that way anyways. Oh,
Sometimes
man.
it's more quiet that time, because people are, going out.
Exactly. Oh, man, yeah, I did have a pretty okay time just, like, resting, just, like, appreciating the stillness of my house while everybody was away, because my in-laws were out and Void was doing his classes.
Yeah, and
Oh
then
boy, okay.
being awake during the nighttime is very nice, because if you, for example, have shops that are open at night, it's just nice going out, because the world is so quiet.
Yeah. I miss 24-hour Walmart. Ugh.
Yeah, plus the smell
Damn
of
you,
dew in
COVID!
the morning.
Oh, man. Alright, chat, let's get back to another story.
Let's get right back to
decided
the
to-
news.
I decided to do just, like, a bunch of short stories, because I feel like it would be, like, A, more digestible for you guys, chat. B, it'd be easier for me to read, because I'm not exactly all
relaxing.
here. Plus, it's just nicer this way.
Yeah.
I do have a couple videos. I'm not gonna lie to you, I couldn't remember if this world has a video player or not.
I don't think it does.
Probably not. I mean, this bottle over here is a mirror, but who needs that?
I thought that was a prop you placed there.
Mm-mm. That was there when I got here.
What does it mean?
It's just...
You have it. Okay.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Whatever. Fucking... Okay. Let's get into our next one. Okay, this one is purely for shits and gigs. A friend of mine has been asking me to read this for, like, the longest time, and I've always been like, I don't know, it's never been the right time. So, here, in our last episode for now, fucking, I'm gonna read this one. It's fucking the infamous man door hand hook car door from fucking 4chan. Man and girl go out to drive under moonlight. They stop on a side of the road. He turns to his girl and say, "Baby, I love you very much." "What is it, honey?" "Our car is broken down. I think the engine is broken. I'll walk and get some more fuel." "Okay, I'll stay here and look after our stereo. There have been news reports of Steris being stolen." "Good idea. Keep the doors locked no matter what. I love you, sweaty." Yes, it's actually spelled like that. So the guy left to get full for the car. After 2 hours, the girls say, "Where's my baby? He was supposed to be back by now." Then the girl hear a scratching sound and voice say, "Let me in." The girl doesn't do it, and then after a while, she goes to sleep. The next morning, she wakes up and finds her boyfriend still not there. She gets out to check, and Mandor hand hook car door. Yeah, that's
What
it.
the fuck?
That's it. It's I literally am reading this off of a fucking, like, JPEG, bro. Of a fucking 4chan post.
Fuck
I'm not
yeah,
kidding, it's literally-
4chan!
That's literally it, bro. This was posted in... the original post was posted to 4chan in 2012.
What the
This is a long time ago. It's just the classic, who was the hook hand, type story.
Yeah, it's a troll pasta based on the urban legend known as the Hook.
Yeah, basically.
For fuck's sake.
But yeah. There you go, home skillet. I fucking read that shit for you. I don't know, you owe me $20 now or something.
The original wasn't 2012.
Yeah, it was an old ass post, dude.
God.
We're coming up on its anniversary, surprisingly enough, because the date listed for the post is 6/19/12.
Yup, that is correct. And apparently, the original story was in 1960.
Ah.
Huh. Yeah,
I see.
It appeared in something called Dear Abby in 1960. Interesting.
Oh, alright. Well, alright, this next one is called Gum Woman, and I want to read this little author's note to make sure we don't have any, like, confusion. Author's note. This one may be a bit more complicated / abstract due to the nature of its topic. This dream really did happen. Alright, before we continue, let's take a little piss stop. Let's take a little sippy piss stop.
Hydration there.
Fucking hydration. Okay. Flavor.
Guapo.
Wop. Okay. Let's get into Gum Woman. Also, Chet, sit up straight. Ever since I was little, I have been more or less averse to touching. This does not necessarily include family and friends, all of whom I love dearly. Although that prickly, dangerous sense kicks in from time to time if anything stronger than a gentle tap or palm placement grazes my body. I really just appreciate my space, and I try my best to accommodate the people I meet on a daily basis in the same way. There's nothing more nightmarish than not having sovereignty over one's body. This is probably why the nightmare I had as a kid has stuck with me for so long. At least, it felt like a nightmare. That's what I tell myself, even now. I don't really remember how it starts, but I'm always in my childhood home. It's pretty much exactly the same. Same ugly blue carpet pattern, same 90s style wood paneling, same dingy yellow bulbs that dangle downward like an eyes from above. I reach for the lockless bathroom door and push my way in. Even as a little boy, I remember my hands feeling so large and clumsy. As I peel off my clothes and start the bath, I feel at peace. Water has always been fundamental in preserving my peace, I realize. It covers the skin in a protective layer, one you can see through, but not entirely. It conceals me. Then, as I sit there in the quiet, surrounded by dirty white tiles and the gentle lapping of bathwater, I feel it. A plunging sensation coming from the pipes. A disturbance underneath. When the Gum Woman arrives, she does so with no particular sense of urgency or announcement of intent. Her texture is this pinkish flesh-toned mass of gum, like a constantly sticking and unsticking mound of vaguely humanoid taffy. The only thing human at all about her is her bulbous head, featuring 2 divots where her eyes should be, a wormy-lipped mouth, and black, stringy hair which remains permanently embedded and knotted into her flesh. She simply and effectively pours out of the drain, begins to rise and crash down on me like some awkward, fleshy wave. She groans loudly, her wormy lips yearning for my flesh, tickling and weakening me. I'm not laughing in the dream. She has no hands to speak of, since her entire body is in unshaped hand. She uses it to smother me, pushing me down into the bathtub. And in a way, I feel sorry for her. It's not like her actions are some sort of willing, malignant force. It feels more like an animal, aggressively and unconsciously pushing itself onto me from all sides. This is nature. This is how the world feels to me. An unfortunate dance that every living thing has no choice but to take part in. In my helpless thrashing, I've turned into some sort of uncomfortably human smoothie. An arbitrary, defenseless plaything for her. I cry out for someone to help, someone standing nearby. Either due to willing ignorance, inability to help, or simply not hearing me, the figure jitters away into the background dream haze that has replaced the walls and the floor. I remember then waking up and crying out, breathing heavily as if I could still smell her damp hair sticking to my face. There's a pool of sweat and sometimes else growing beneath me. I have never had a dream like that again since. I think what particularly sticks out to me is that my aversion to unhealthy touching has persisted to this day, despite my parents' adamant stance that they keep their eyes on me my entire childhood. I'd be inclined to agree with them, all circumstances considered. But how do I know that fear isn't just a neurological quirk? These things are primal, dark, and ravenous. I look at my own fingertips and shudder in horror at their inevitable desiring. I curl up in my shower sometimes and I try not to look at the congealed mass of black hair growing on the marble rim. I know it's mine, and yet, separated and dead, grows on its own. I peel and pick at the ingrown hair growing dead center between my brows until it's a bloody mess. I hate being in my skin. Most days it's tolerable. I enjoy the presence of other people sometimes, even as they gently brush up against me and remind me my flesh is not a prison. It's one I can reshape in my image. But then I remember that dream. Remember her pasty, toy-like flesh. I remember how eagerly she tried to devour me. I feel myself getting hungrier each day as I distance myself from everyone once more and become a yearning stranger. As the months turn into years, as this paranoid aversion becomes a sort of strange perversion of intimacy, I seek to replace that which was taken from me by taking it from other people. I find infinite regret in realizing that part of me likes it. I want to devour and be devoured in turn. I'm the same as the animal that lives in my sewers. That was Gum Woman. Ugh, that one was just... Ugh. That one was gross. That one was really
Nasty,
gross.
icky. No likey, no
That one
likey,
was
no.
really nasty. But that was also fucking awesome. I love that one, because I love body horror, y'all. Because, not to get, like, too into it, as someone who has always had, like, I wouldn't say issues, just, like, I've always pontificated about myself, like, physically, identifiably, things like that. How I present myself, how I see myself. And that's why I kind of find some kind of odd kinship with body horror. Because growing up as a kid, a queer kid, who was always told that, oh, whatever you were born with, that's it. You're supposed to like this. You're supposed to be this. You're not allowed to change, or else you're a bad person. growing up as a closeted little queer kid, I always found some kind of fascination with the lack of control presented in body horror, because that's how I felt. Because I myself, I'm gender fluid, so I present however I may please. And feeling that sense of helplessness, that sense of being trapped, confined to one thing that I was born as, it was hell. It truly felt like I was out of control of my body. And the more and more I learned about horror and delve into different kinds of movies, different kinds of body horror films like The Fly, The Thing, more recent things like The Substance, it has shown me how other people might feel if they were in an opposite sort of situation. Because now I can feel however I want. There is nothing like keeping me like this, because that's the whole thing about body horror, is the lack of control. That is what's so terrifying about it, because that's one of the few facets about this crazy reality that we ourselves can control, is ourselves. You can control what you put in your body, food-wise or other kinds of things. You can control what happens to the outside. You can cut your hair in a manic episode. You can get piercings, tattoos, all sorts of body modifications. You can choose how to dress, choose how to look, choose how to sound, anything.
Yeah, you can do basically
And
almost
yet-
anything to your own body.
And yet this level of control is so fragile that once something happens to you out of your control, it feels so scary.
Sickness.
And that is like,
maybe something
yeah.
like infects it, or maybe you got into an accident.
I'll tell you guys a little anecdote about my childhood as a little zumbling. When I was but a wee lad in elementary school, mind you, I was very, very prone to getting throat infections because my tonsils were just super shit. I used to get really bad infections and all this sort of stuff. And I would remember feeling just so miserable. I couldn't speak. I had trouble eating, swallowing. I had hard time breathing. And it felt so scary to me as just like a little wee babby. And eventually I had surgery to remove my tonsils, and I never felt still further so trapped because I couldn't speak. And I still had limitations on what I could eat and do. It was torture, I tell you what. And another thing more recently that happened that was kind of similar was I got my wisdom teeth removed finally at the ripe old age of, I think, either 23 or 24. I felt so terrible. I was miserable for weeks, because I couldn't speak correctly, I couldn't eat correctly, I had to be very careful with how I drank water, I had to be very careful with how I brushed my teeth, I couldn't sleep in certain positions on my sides, washing my fucking face in the morning and in the evening, or doing my hair in the shower, it was all terrible, and there was nothing I could do about it, and I felt oddly scared. I felt low and depressed, and it was a very shitty time. I mean, I'm doing better now, because this was like a very long while ago, but that is basically, in a nutshell, body horror. It's just that lack of control and feeling like, of all things, why can't I do something about this? And that's super fascinating to me. It's always going to be super fascinating to me.
Yeah, and
Ugh,
it's something
jeez.
that's been very apparent, like the humans, in many years. Recently, we've gotten to the point where people are more open about being able to be who the hell they want to be, and that's a great fucking thing in the long run. But it's not even been that long ago, less than 30 years, we still had people who controlled everything about you. From beauty pageants, for
Mhm.
example, for kids, which was the worst fucking thing ever, to like fashion
Yeah,
for
fuck
adults.
that noise. Ugh.
You had
Mhm.
idols and everything else, and it's still, to a point, we still have this where you don't have control because you signed a singular paper or somebody else signed it for you. And it's so
Yeah.
fucking terrifying.
Mhm.
And now the only
mhm.
thing that really controls you is, which I'm very sad about, is social media controls so much of people,
Yeah.
even your body.
Mhm.
As much as people think like, oh, no, social media doesn't affect me at all, the clothing you wear, the food you eat, the things you think about, and all that, just the more you stare at that little screen and social media, and you go from the funny X site to fucking Blue Sky to whatever the hell else you watch, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever the fuck, they all affect you in a way that you can't control because you let them.
Mhm. Yeah. Exactly, because there's not much you can do because of circumstance, because of social issues, because of personal feelings.
Parents,
And that's like
friends,
yeah,
school,
exactly.
whatever the hell.
Mm-hmm. That's how it was with me too, Foxy. Because my mother, she was an immigrant, and growing up in a tumultuous time where being queer was still kind of frowned upon. Shit, I still remember when they finally announced that gay marriage had been legalized here in the States. I cried. I was overjoyed. And
Mhm.
my mother went on this terrible rant. I'm not going to get too into it because it was quite venomous, but I realized that day that I don't want her to be in control anymore. And why must you scream at me, my son? Please. Binks, you're interrupting my fucking monologue, bro. What
Binks
the
agrees
freak,
with you.
Wadoo? Me, stinky boy. Okay, fucking. He's telling me get on with it. Damn it. Give me them ears, boy. Give me them ears. Okay. But yeah, fucking control is such a tenuous and delicate thing, and it is also everything. It's such a good jumping off point with horror. I love to see all kinds of scary shit done with themes of control or lack thereof.
Yeah,
It's
the
super
moment somebody
cool.
takes control from you, that is the scariest thing ever. Control of movement,
Mhm.
taste, sight, hearing. Like that, was it a recent movie where there's that dude who's forced to watch ads constantly in a small box, and no matter where he looks, the ad plays there?
Oh, that is I believe that's an episode of Black Mirror.
Okay. Probably.
Mhm.
I've only seen a clip of that, and I was like, that's fucking horrifying. Death! They have been taken. Speaking of control being taken away from you, it would appear that Zombie over here is probably dead. Speaketh of control and being taken away. Perfect example right here. Let's see. Is there a TM? Yes, there is. This is the perfect example of horror. Well then. What happened? No chat. I am talking to them outside as well. We're trying to figure out what happened. The true horror has happened. I'm scared to click some of these things. I feel like something's gonna happen if I click that. We'll have Zombie do it. Just in case it's something bad. Are you alive?
My fucking headset died.
Jesus.
Yeah, you love to see it, chat. You love to fucking see it. God
Yeah.
damn.
Speaking of control,
Yeah, I know. Fucking hell.
perfect timing.
Man,
Also,
whatever.
I discovered
Whatever.
there's a button up there.
A-
You see
a
that smudge?
button. Yeah, is it a button?
Yeah, it's a button.
A button for what?
I don't know.
For what?
Hello, Hendrit.
Oh, it opens a portal.
Oh, it's just a portal.
To somewhere. I don't know where though. I can't turn it off, son of a bitch. This is your fault.
Ha! It's nothing. It opens a portal to nothing.
That's kind of creepy.
That is creepy. You can't even look at the details.
Mhm.
And hello, Hendrit. What do you mean you couldn't talk until now?
What do you mean you couldn't talk until now?
That was control taken away from you as well? Did you get taken by the control wizard?
God forbid.
The Gooba Gabba. The Gabagoops.
Gabagool.
The Gabagool. The Ghoul. I should have shown up as a feral
These
ghoul.
nuts.
Oh yeah,
Man, whatever.
bro. I love the fact that we have
Yeah,
the
bud?
looks thing now, and it is the dumbest thing possible. I love it.
Oh yeah, the accessories.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. Why, bro?
Hold up, I gotta show this. You was playing something? That's fine, Hunter. Don't worry about it. But this thing. Hey, I don't. What? Bro.
Man, that was stupid as hell.
Fucking googly eye motherfucker.
Okay, anyways, let's get on to the next story.
Alright.
Jesus Christ. This is why we can't have anything nice, man. Oh man, okay, fucking, you threw me off my fucking groove, bro. Jesus.
Pull the lever!
Man, give your balls a fucking pull, bro.
Okay.
You are spare fucking parts, dude.
I am spare parts, but
Waiter.
somehow I still work.
Allegedly. Alright, chat, let's get into our next story here.
And don't worry about it.
This one is called Dementia Dream. My lucid dreams have become lucid nightmares against my will. I don't know where else to write about it other than my dream journal, so in my journal it'll go. Hell, I might as well post this entry verbatim and see if this has happened to other people. My break time is coming to a close, and I don't have much spare time. Well, in that case, I'll give you, mysterious mystery reader, an intro into lucid dreaming. It isn't that hard to maintain. Most of the work is keeping a consistent dream journal. It helps you to train your brain to remember what's most easily forgotten. My dream journal is a few hundred pages long by now, and it's my favorite part of waking up in the morning these days. Goddamn overlay, please. Not cooperating. Good God. What was a calm morning ritual, for a decade now, no less, has become a mental sandpaper drag of my nerves that leaves me more on edge every time I wake up. And they're only getting worse. I can't even find anything on the internet with people having similar dreams, and there's nobody around me to ask. Even writing them from memory is enough to make me shiver. It's funny. My dream journal at this point is my laptop, and sitting down to write this was like waking up after a night of playing in my dreams like they were a sandbox. The only thing missing is the joy. The real reward of being able to relive my dreams. Now, I'm poring over someone else's horrible memories. But they're mine. They have to be. My dreams are still lucid, but not for long. They always devolve into random scenes where I'm the lead actor for a production I don't have the script for. One moment I'm in front of a crowd who eagerly are awaiting a speech, yet I've never given a speech in my life and have never stood in front of a crowd that huge before. Next, I'll be trudging through a swamp, my legs as heavy as anvils as I drag them up and through the mud, the holes in the mud squelching as water rushes to fill the holes my feet are making. In both of these scenarios, I don't know where I'm going or how I even got there, yet I'm certain that it's all as real as my waking life, and its vitality is important, that I don't get it, whatever it is, wrong. If I'm moving in any of these dreams, it's away from something I can't fathom or towards a destination I am uncertain of. These dreams, even the brief ones that are flashes of imagery and feeling, leave me with a horrible sense of longing? Sorrow? Like I was close to the end but was taken away before I could do whatever I'm supposed to. This wouldn't all be so bad, but something about the dreams is consistent now. At the end of every dream, I see a man in a long brown jacket with hair covering his face. Even if the wind is blowing, or it's hot enough to burn my skin whenever I have ended up while asleep, he's wearing a long jacket with his brown, mangy hair covering his face. Hell, he might not even be a man at all, but his hands are white and bony and covered with hair. Like my uncle. I haven't spoken to him since I was a kid. In fact, he hasn't crossed my mind since I moved into my apartment. I haven't thought of any of my family since I've gotten here. But it's not my uncle. My uncle's dead. My only memory of him is a Polaroid that I kept in my physical dream journal from around the last time my family got together. The last time my family got together. For some reason that memory is split in two even as I try to recall it. I could see a fire pit surrounded by white plastic chairs in some public forest. My dad grilling sausages and hamburgers while my extended family talk about local legends around the fire. We used to go to the library I'm writing in now. It's always been my favorite place to write, even more so than my bedroom. Between paragraphs, I took a quick drive here to help clear my mind, but if I'm being honest, I feel even more foggy than ever. The library doesn't look or feel like I'm the one familiar with either. I need to leave. There's only a few minutes left before the party I need to be at, and everyone I know will be pissed at me if I don't make it on time. If I can't find anybody and the doors are still locked. The only consistent thing is this laptop and a journal with a Polaroid of a group of people I don't recognize with their hands on my shoulders. I can't read what I've written before. It all looks blurry and misshapen whenever I try to look at my screen for too long without typing something. But it doesn't feel like I'm in a dream. It hurts when I pinch myself, and the numbness in my fingers is a physical dullness, not an absence of feeling altogether like how it's supposed to. The courtyard is dark and overcast, and that man is still beyond the hedges, his flowing brown hair covering his face as he waves at me and beckons to join him somewhere. I've picked up my laptop and moved somewhere else countless times by now. There's always a place to sit and write, and the letters appearing on my screen are my only respite from the man in the brown coat and the emptiness of the field around me. Was it always this overcast? Has it always been raining? I feel like I'm dying, but I'm not. At least I don't think I am. I don't know whether to give up or not. I remember stepping through a thick, muddy swamp to get where I am, but I'm as lost as ever, and the past is trying to get me while the future, both in space and time, slips from my fingers. The man is there, always waving at me to join him. I'm awake. I fell asleep moments ago. I've been here forever. My skin is sloughing off of my arms as I wade through open air in a home I've never been in before. I'm running in a body that feels alien down a highway that cannot exist. There's always a laptop, always a dream journal, always a Polaroid. Or is there? The cover of the dream journal changes yet remains the same. Now I'm typing on a typewriter, trying to ignore the hairy man waving slowly at me and slowing down as I sit and try to focus on typing the experience, something I won't immediately regret. There's not much time left. He's stopped waving. He's walking towards me. And now he's running. That was Dementia Dream. Ooh, that was really unsettling. I like that one a lot.
Weird.
That was really weird, but I really, really like that one. I love delving into the topic of dreams and stuff, because to this day, chat, and you can look this up, nobody, and I mean nobody, knows why we dream. There have been countless studies, countless reviews and articles
Theories,
and
everything.
tests, theories, all sorts of things. Everything, few and far between. Nobody can figure it out. Nobody has any idea why we have dreams and why they are the way they are.
Only thing we know is
We
that we
just
can
know.
produce dreams, we can somewhat influence them, we know that there's different stages of dreams, and that we know that it's some sort of liquid or something that is created by our mind, our brain, but we don't know why exactly it happens, because we're supposed to be able to sleep at night, rest, relax, that's a human function. But when we
Yeah.
dream, why would we use so much energy to do this? Because that means that we ain't resting, we're overworking it instead.
Exactly.
Why do we see nightmares?
It's such a
Why do we see good
strange-
dreams?
Exactly. It's such a strange phenomenon among many others about the human body. And we aren't even the only creatures that dream. Cats
Animals dream.
dogs dream. Fucking... It's just
Fish,
so
Whales,
bizarre.
everything.
It's so... It's scary in like a fear of the unknown sort of way.
Yeah, and sometimes we
'Cause,
can
like,
even catch people dreaming while they're awake, because they might unconsciously do it. It's these people who slip in and out of consciousness, but they're still conscious to a level.
Shit, that's even happened to me before. I remember a time I was riding on the bus on my way, I believe, to school. And I think this was about like my second, maybe last year of not high school, rather, middle school. And I wasn't really getting much sleep those days because I had state testing, and because it was the end of the year. And I remember sitting there and I leaned my head back and you know the feeling when you just let yourself fall back onto your bed? It was like that. I lean my head back against the seat of the bus, and I just feel like I'm falling back onto my bed. And I'm just like laying there, and there's just lights and sounds and like weird warbling pictures in my eyes. And like I'm still having a conversation with a friend of mine. he's asking me like about meeting up afterwards at the mall to do some shopping for the next season coming up, and about how his sister is seeing a new man or something. It was all so blurry at the time, but I was still like conscious and talking to him. And then he like looks at me oddly and he's like, hey, what's wrong with you? And he's like starting to yell at me out of nowhere seemingly. And then I snap too, and we're already at school, and the bus driver is standing next to him, and they're trying to wake me up. And I have no idea what the hell happened. It was such a weird experience, and I've never experienced something like that specifically ever again.
Yeah, it's a
Dreams are such
momentary.
a weird fucking trip.
It seemed like a momentary lapse in consciousness, but we can't really prove anything else except, hey, you just lost track of time completely. You entered a state of REM. That's the only thing that we know of. We call this weird state where we have dreams and stuff and where the consciousness starts fading, the REM stages. Because there's like Fox said, Fox doesn't see anything, just darkness. That doesn't mean that they don't dream. It's just what they remember and recollect. Because for some people, just seeing that darkness for 2 seconds, it's morning already, even though you've slept a full 10 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Dreams are such a bizarre thing, man.
Yeah.
Alright.
So far, we have no way to prove that we have seen anything or to record them. All we know is brainwaves are fluctuating, which means something's happening.
It's such a cool concept to have like horror based around dreams and such.
Yeah, and
It's
I
really,
can't wait
really
for
cool.
the day where we can actually record a dream and play it back and see what happens.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's gonna be the coolest thing ever. Oh boy. Let me see here.
It will definitely be
Trying to
crazy. Like, imagine being like falling asleep, and then you press the record button basically on the fucking device, and you finally fall asleep. You wake up in the morning, and then you replay whatever the hell you've seen, and then you just stare at it like, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. It's fucking. Cause like, even when you do remember a dream, it's always like the weirdest shit. Always.
Yeah, it's the weirdest shit, or it's a weird sense of deja vu, like it's a premonition of something that happens, or something that happened, or something. It's just something. That's the only perfect word to describe dreams. It's something.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Fucking hell. And like,
you never know if it's
fucking.
true or not.
I think the creepiest thing that like the final like thing I'll say about like dreams and stuff is fucking sometimes dreams predict shit that happens to you. That is so crazy. I think the craziest example of this that I've ever had personally was I predicted my fucking me going like I was going out of like an exit door in my high school, right? And I went to my mother's car and she drives me into town, and then I'm like, where are we going? Are we going shopping or something? And she's like, no, I'm taking you somewhere because I want you to try doing some therapy and stuff. I'm like, what? Okay. And then she drives me in, and then when we walk in is when I wake up. And sure enough, the next week, my mother takes me and I start doing my therapy. And it pretty much everything was the exact same. The me asking her, the way she sounds when she tells me, the fucking, like, look of the office inside the building when we arrive at the therapist's. It was so weird.
Yeah, especially if you've
And
never
there's,
been
like,
there
no
before.
explanation for it. Exactly. I had such a weird sense of deja vu. Really, really bad. Oh, man. Alright, let's get on to our next chat here.
That portal is still
Trying to
freaking
see
me out.
Yeah, I know. I don't like it. If anything, in a minute here, we're probably gonna move worlds so we can play these videos on an actual player that'll work.
Hopefully.
because I got some good ones. Trust. All right, I'll read this last story and then we'll move somewhere. All right, this one is called "Our Last Visit."
Nice, Fox.
I waited for hours in the frozen nightscape, 6 miles away from my waking soul. Other than my bus stop, there was nothing in view but a flat, snow-covered void. To no surprise, I was the only rider in the dim, gray box of the shuttle that picked me up. Behind the dark, bulletproof plexiglass, I could not see the driver at all. I felt much like a probe, sent through a porthole in the ice, far past any reaches of light into the depths of the Arctic Sea. I was paying a visit to a friend with whom I had fallen out of touch with, but who had uncharacteristically called, asking to see me. He was among the stragglers in a town that once sustained itself digging up minerals by a great black river. Once the world market opened up, it could not compete. In the ensuing famine, the local government resorted to driving up the cost of living in order to sustain itself before giving out. Houses sat empty for impossible prices. For rent signs hung, wind-worn outside townhouses, though any applicants were cussed out and chased away. My friend Ben, or Bish as I knew him, lived with his father. The two were not stubborn, but simply too calcified to be chased out by meat-locker winters or deadly stillness. By the way of a mineral sleep, beneath notice and a ways off from the edge of the world. I arrived at the very same house where Bish and I spent much of our adolescence. Thorny black trees filtered pale light into fractal patterns on the home. Not a trace of wind. When Bish finally, and very slowly, opened the door, using it to prop up the weight of his body, I thought I was at the wrong house. His hair had grown down past his shoulders over his once boyish face, which sagged as if it could barely keep up its fight against gravity. His eyelids hung an inch down, revealing deep red below his eyes, which reminded me of the cracked screen of a television turned to static. Too clear, yet portraying nothing. I greeted him tactfully as always. Bish, you look terrible. At the time, I assumed he was joking when he explained that he had not slept in 2 months. Bish led me in. The two of us trudged through a thick layer of discarded clothing, takeout boxes, and miscellaneous detritus I did not register. Faint movements shuffled the debris, which could have only been the tunneling of rats, or perhaps the moles who used to get in and make disoriented attempts to dig through the hardwood floors. I read somewhere that if an object is sucked past the event horizon of a black hole, it appears frozen to the outside world before slowly turning red-shifted before it eventually disappears. That should give you a sense of the house I stepped into. Even the lights above us had that dim, leaden quality of the shuttle which carted me out to this place in the first place. Bish collapsed in his father's recliner and lit up a cigarette, looking like a firefly smothered by a mop. No wonder the air was so thick. I cleared a few years of newspaper off the couch before sitting. The TV before us flickered on mute. In fact, the whole of the house was, except for the occasional radiator clank and Alice Cooper's Dragon Town playing softly on a radio, tuned to near static in the kitchen. We watched an old commercial for cakes made to order. They were impressively technicolor, frosted landscapes. A little puppet of a man was making his way across them as if on an expedition. He made his way to a cake with a man's face emerging from the middle. The face opened its eyes, his irises black as his pupils, and began to move them around in rapid circles, saying something inaudible to the toy. I found this entertaining, but not especially appetizing. Next was a segment where a man stood, green screened against a neon background. The screen flashed the words, "Secret Surprise," and "Guess which one?" The man began to steadily change in appearance. First his mouth dripped longer and longer until it reached his waist and wrapped around his body. His legs became thinner and thinner, poised outwards at jagged angles. His pupils grew until his eyes were round, black holes. I looked to Bish for his response, but he simply watched stoically, almost studiously entranced as he puffed away on his cigarette. The man on the TV now looked like a cross between a mosquito and a Klein bottle. His mouth had extended all the way around his body, through his eye, which fused shut with his lips. Smooth, pulsing motions tore at his body with heavy suction, pulling his own fluids into a feedback loop. Cut to black. Bish looked at me and offhandedly said something I didn't think too hard about. "Since this is the last time you're going to see me, you want to grab some food and make a night of it? You know what I mean? We got 'em so we may as well smoke 'em." I nodded, although I had yet to learn what he had meant. We heard the sound of a wall being thumped repeatedly. In response, Bish rose, as if summoned. He approached the stairs. At the top stood his father. All I could see of this man of the house was a calloused hand using a cotton ball to dap at blood coming from a stitched wound across his abdomen. On the wall he had left a smear where he pounded at it. Bish looked up at his father, pausing reverently. Something was being signaled. Father was not moving. No words came from the man, but his son nodded, mouthing the tiniest, "Yeah." That night, I had stepped out in search of the only restaurant still open in a 10-mile radius. A little Chinese place, glowing against the black road, plodding on by paper-thin margins, I'm sure. They were surprised to even see me. When I returned, it all made sense. Strong fumes stung the air, which I followed through the halls. In the kitchen stood father and son, but not as I had ever seen them. Bish's father was punctured and laced through by hundreds of pipes and flowing tubes. His heart had been removed and hung from a string, still beating. His lungs worked furiously in the wet heat of his chest cavity. Bish was no longer himself, but a slowly undulating throat feeding into his father's newly opened wound. His eyes were still there, but during the process his teeth had fallen out, clattering onto the floor in every direction. No sense could be made of the form of these two men had taken on. Not topographically, nor of its origin. The sole purpose of this formerly human apparatus was self-predation, which it carried out with deafening, labored breath. It wanted its pain, which it sought by mouth of Saturn, by ruptured vessel, by rust of nail. A noxious chemical smell filled the room. I have learned that the potential for such useless machines is written into the very nature of matter. In their frenzied cycles, every life form approaches something beyond words, but rarely makes the trip. Past all the cold and the hunger known to soft creatures lies an absolute stillness given to fits of music, and beyond this a convulsive vomit of uncountably infinite novelties. Chattering mouths with cherry-red lips and no ears to hear their cacophony. This formerly human machinery was merely a nudge in that direction. The machine screamed, a sound that belonged to neither and both of them. Bish's eye, although stretched 3 times its length, sought mine and led me to his still lit cigarette, and the remains of the last-ditch effort on his part. Clever as ever. Before his transformation, he had finished what must have drenched the room in gasoline, soaking the surroundings and leading out the door. I nodded, waved, and took one final drag before walking to the door, flicking the ceremonial tobacco into the hall. The house erupted in a pillar of flame, eaten up by white, hot oblivion. I took a breath and walked off. In my hand, I counted 7 teeth, still reeking of gas. A keepsake. And that was our last visit. Ew, that one was gross.
That one was
That
fucking
one was
weird.
mad nasty. That was also that was really well written, in my opinion. Very Stephen King almost. My God.
God,
It was
maybe
really
that's a movie
good.
that we should watch at some point. What are those Stephen King's movies?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Good old, like,
Oh man.
Shining or whatever the fuck else.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Ruby, do your
Absolutely,
assignments!
Absolutely. Yeah, do your assignments. What are you here for, bro? Get out of
They're
here.
chilling. Nah, let it be here. Do it!
Do your homework, boy. Do your work, joboid.
Didn't think
Alright,
of that, Hundred.
with
Fair
that,
enough.
we will now beep weep. We will now move to another world so I can play these frick dangle videos. Weep 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 weep
Oh, yeah,
weep.
tomorrow's the first day. Isn't that the day that 100 you wanted to join for the movie night as well?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna be watching
I hope
The
so. That would be
Thing.
That would be cool. Yes, the thing.
The Thing.
Weep weep weep. Weep 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 weep. Alright, let's see if this one will be any good.
To the creepy place.
Yes.
Yes. Also, they changed the loading screen menus again. This looks so weird. What the heck? Let's see. Let's have a look-see.
Are not the only possible interpretation. The viewer is invited to make a judgment based on all
We out here, gang. Alright,
Heck yeah.
fucking weep.
related to flying saucers.
How could anything do that without it didn't come out of the sky?
Fucking door, Jesus.
There we go.
Alright, cool. Let's see if the shit will play. I really hope it does.
Yeah. Let's have a look if it works.
Alright.
Also, did you notice that they changed the loading screen again?
They did.
It's actually nice because now it shows the world and who made it. It makes it so much easier. It actually says the name.
Yeah, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Okay.
waiting for owner sync. Up. Alright. Seems to be playing.
Ah, cool. Cool. Alright, this one is called Skinwalker.
Alright.
Oh,
Jar of mayo.
Hey, man.
I love when there's always a overshot of the like a forest and a road.
Yeah, right. I like it though. I like that. That's the trope standard.
Yeah, it always gives me the fucking Blair Witch vibes.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely. That's another fantastic found footage film. My God.
The first one, not the second one.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, the second one is a bit. Eh. Dean, is that you?
I've legitimately thought about purchasing a cowboy hat just for the fuck of it.
Why not?
I mean, I'm
You could-
brown, so it would make sense.
You can do a lot of things with them.
Exactly.
You can customize them. You can do a lot of cool shit. Depends on the style as well.
Mm-hmm. What the fuck? Arthur! Already, that was a bad idea, dude.
Yep. The fucking jump!
Yeah, man, you gotta do what you gotta do. No,
Bro,
you're sick
the
as
hat.
hat, bro. Come on.
Arthur.
Offer.
What the fuck?
Oh.
Oh.
Oh my God,
That's-
Barry!
Dude, careful, your fucking ankles, bro.
Oh my God. What the fuck happened?
Ooh.
Wow, it got dark real fast. What? What the fuck was that?
Okay, then. He fucking pistol whipped them.
Yeah, but why?
Yo, what? And,
Okay.
the fuck is happening here?
Have you not watched this before?
I always go into these blind.
Okay.
Is he tied to a tree?
I think so. They're both tied, I think. Ah, true Red Dead moment.
Love to see it.
Will you cut it out? See, this is what happens when you don't protect your hat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really sorry, brother. It's the only way I could find out for sure. I knew you'd try to
What-
stop me. I knew it was gonna get messy. Now you
Okay.
and the girl are gonna wait right here until we figure out what the fuck is happening.
We.
Hey, what the fuck are you doing?
You scream, and I'll put a fucking bullet in your chest. You understand?
I think he suspects one of them being a skinwalker.
I am not dying tonight, so shut up.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. That's kind of how it was when we were reading Fleshgate.
Fucking mean it. You gonna explain yourself?
I saw the bodies, Jason. I found them.
Oh.
They weren't right.
What the hell are you talking about?
I've seen animal killings before. Bears, cougars, all of it. It ain't pretty. But this was something different.
This ain't natural.
That boy ain't right.
That boy ain't right.
All of them were dead?
What the fuck?
And you think I did it? What the hell did you drink last night? You can't think I kidnapped all them people.
No, you didn't, brother.
I love that because he thrashed about his microphone just fucking slank in a weird way.
Yeah, right? Ugh.
Are you out of your goddamn mind? Her?
Oh no.
I'm almost sure.
We're hunting an animal. An animal, Arthur! Don't look at her. Look at me.
You don't hunt these things.
What things? What things?
You gotta let them hunt you. I had my suspicions about her, so I allowed her to tag along.
She wanted to help, you idiot!
Well, dressed up like that?
She wanted to be with me.
Yeah, who the fuck is going out in the woods in a dress?
Yeah. I see how she's got you, Jason.
Oh yes, we're going hunting.
Wait, stop! Right, okay? I have fallen for her. But trust me, I know her. This isn't you. You wouldn't do this.
That Ruby would do that. Ruby would wear the dress while going hunting.
You're a good man.
Yeah, of course I would.
Please. I want to marry her one day.
Hmm?
I'm gonna make this fast for you.
Kapow. Hey, yes, just in case, I will sometimes turn the screen away just purely so that Twitch won't kill me, because Twitch is fucking dumb when it comes to videos.
Mm-hmm.
Where is she?
Well then,
What the fuck? Yeah, where is the girl?
Skinwalker.
Fuck no, baby.
Well,
Yeah, be careful. You gotta shoot your dick off.
You see? I told you.
You fucking killed her?
She was a damn Skywalker.
you kill her. Brother, she's not even there. Get your money.
Hmm.
Oh no.
Jesus. Ah, Jesus, my eyes.
My eyeballs.
Like, Jesus.
Well then.
Hmm.
Crunchy.
I don't mean to be a pessimist, but this is award-winning question mark?
Hmm.
This won awards?
Maybe the state fair. Where there was only 2 videos. It was either Billy Boss pizza
Probably.
eating or this.
Probably.
Crunchy.
Ugh. Okay, her face is like kind of unnerving there.
That was more like a banshee than a skinwalker.
Hmm. Kind of.
Okay. Maybe it won some kind of
Alrighty
an
then.
indie award?
I don't fucking know, man. Alright, let's move on to the next video. Like I said, chat, I was gonna fucking show you this at some point. At least the 2-minute version, because we are not watching the full
Hell no.
16.5-minute version of this. Time to dredge up your fucking waking nightmares again.
Oh boy. Oh yeah!
I feel fantastic. I think what's worse is that it's dark outside in the video. Why is she so tall? I hate this so much.
All I can think of is shitty ass fucking Vocaloid jokes.
Yeah.
That is freaky.
So awful. I hate it.
Mm-hmm. And the funniest part is, this was supposed to be an actual music video as well.
Mm-hmm. I don't like the fact that she's saying run.
The other funny part about it is, she's still around.
I know, and I hate that she is.
What was she calling it? Tara the android?
I think so. Dude, no, not even. Imagine fucking... You were, like, lost in the fucking woods, right?
Mhm.
And you finally see a house, and you run up to it thinking that you're finally gonna get some help because you've been lost for, like, however knows long. And you
Oh, like this?
come across a house in the middle of the dark, and you look in the windows, and you see that fucking bitch.
Why did you zoom into...
I don't know. That's why it's so creepy. If you live... Listen, gang, if you live with no blinds or curtains on your windows in your house, and you just raw dog that shit at night, fuck you. Quite kindly, fuck you. It's terrible.
Well,
Thanks, I fucking hated that.
yup.
Oh, Jesus. Alright, let's close this off with a classic because, guess what recently finished filming
What?
the Backrooms movie?
Oh, do we get like a little
So now
backwards
they're on
video?
the edit. Yeah, the Backrooms video, the original video made by Kane Pixels. Also, I recommend turning down y'all's volume a little bit because this video is a little bit loud.
I think it's a perfect volume for me. Considering I had to like put the volume up for the other ones.
Cause I know it's gonna get loud once the a certain scene comes up.
Mm-hmm.
Like how much further? Like a little more. That? Yeah.
Rumi's favorite analog horror.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've always wondered, how did the other guys feel when they saw the dude just fall?
I don't know. They probably felt like they were losing their fucking brains, dude.
Hey guys.
Because that's the one thing I've noticed. Every time it's like the back rooms, it's always just one guy randomly entering it somehow. Or it's the fucking scientist with their hazmat suits entering. But it's never shown when there's like one dude who falls and the others are around and they actually see him fall in there.
Hello? Someone there?
Right. did you ever actually figure out what the fuck? Like, did you hear what the original photo of the back rooms was?
The original photo? No.
Mm-hmm. It was the back area, or it was like some area in a fucking hobby shop.
Really?
Mm-hmm. This place called Hobbytown.
I know of Hobbytown.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, yeah. There's another picture that was taken from it as well. From another angle.
Mm-hmm.
There were no windows because of water damage.
It's really unnerving to look at the original photo, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Mm-hmm.
Can you believe it though? That one photo spun out into fucking this video, games, a movie, an entire fucking movie, fucking YouTube videos, discussion threads, fucking lore upon lore upon lore upon lore upon lore.
Yeah, it was Hobbytown Oshkosh.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently the owner is like 70 years old and he still is alive.
Mm-hmm. I think at one point he was giving away, he was selling pieces of the original wallpaper.
Hmm.
With, like, a certificate of authenticity.
Fair enough. Rumi says that a theory they read as an explanation was that when you no-clip, you technically cease to exist in that world, so his friends would have just forgotten he even existed and moved on with their lives. Oh, there's the
I
monster.
see.
You got everything would come out. Same. I hope they actually do it justice.
I hope so too.
And I hope they skip the boring, constant, known, like, areas. Because I would like to see the areas that are less talked about and the ones that are, like, less known, instead of, you know, the same shit over and over again.
Yeah, dude, but the fucking, there's so many levels to the backrooms nowadays.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's based on the original dude's thing, so he could choose the stuff that he was in, instead of the ones that the random fandoms have made. That's the theory of Rumi theory. I'm going to slap you, Rumi. You know, I wonder how they're gonna feel when they're actually filming it on set of the Backrooms. Like, imagine if there's actually mysterious things that start happening, like some of the crew members just disappear while they're filming.
Oh my god. No, dude, fucking, when they were filming, the entire set was a physical location that was 30,000 square miles, or no, not miles, feet, my bad. It was 30,000 square feet, and people were actually getting lost in there.
That's an Amazon warehouse right then and there.
Basically.
Yeah, because there was...
I know where that hotel place is. It is the Heathrow International Airport.
Nice. Also, funniest thing is, there was, back in the day, in the early 70s, early 80s, there was a filming location in, was it Los Angeles? I don't remember where exactly it was. It was a very famous place, but it had constant accidents happening there and mysterious things. It was a real place where things kept going wrong.
I think you're thinking of the set of the Exorcist film.
That's one of them, but there was a one where they filmed multiple other movies as well.
This isn't real.
Mm.
It was referenced in L.A. Noire.
I see.
Yeah, it was. If I remember correctly, there were 4 or 7 casualties in total while they were filming different movies there. Scripts kept going missing, films disappeared, and stuff just kept getting damaged for no reason. So if they actually start filming the backgrounds and start having stuff like that happen, yeah, I'm gonna say that's a fucking beautiful thing.
Well, it's a little late for that. They already finished filming.
Yeah, but still. I would kill to see the entire set, like, actually, like, be there in the place.
Ah, real. I want to go there so bad.
I wonder what places they have actually made into it, though.
I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see.
If somebody uploads a ripped version of the film onto fucking Popcorn, like, they're actually filming with a handcorder in shitty low quality, I am going to watch it because I think that just adds to it.
Oh, G-Bus. Bro said, fuck that chair in particular. I'm gonna get you.
Yeah, specifically, that chair.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, yes.
Right back.
How serene. Well done.
Ah, you'll love to see it.
Dink!
Ah, that was so good.
Yeah. The funny thing is that
Love
that
that
where
shit.
the camera falls from the sky, that is hilariously inspired by actual events of somebody losing their phone while they were either skydiving or accidentally flushed it from a fucking plane, and for some
Yeah.
reason the storage container failed.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually
Oh,
managed to
God.
recover a bunch of those cameras, and the film that they, like, the footage and everything else is freaking insane. There was even one where they were just filming something random on the ground, and a seagull stole the goddamn fucking phone.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Those are such
But
cool
yeah,
videos.
That's it. Thank you so much again, everyone, for joining us for this final episode of Volume 1 of The Midnight Zone. It has been an absolute blast and a half going over all these spooky stories and these videos and all sorts of real life stuff as well. Through fucking bangers and bombs, through fucking smooth streams and scuff, you guys have been here for me, and I appreciate the fuck out of you guys. Thank you so much for joining me here, and we will be back eventually, like all things. Fucking, this is the part where the killer comes back for one last scare, and I will be back, friends. Mark my words. Matt, close the damn door, boy. I'm monologuing here. Come on. You fuck. I'm trying to be grateful. Damn. Fucking. Thank you again for joining me here. I will return eventually. Bro, can you fucking. Goddamn. Fucking stay safe, everybody. Fucking. this jackass here will keep you guys entertained in the interim, but I will be back for volume 2.
Eventually we'll come back. This isn't the last time you'll see of Zoms. But for now, we'll just skedaddle out of here. We're not gonna go raid anything because, you know what, that's not a thing that we do during these. We're just gonna end it and I'll be back in the evening. So y'all have a wonderful time. I will come back eventually. Bye-bye.
So long.
Oh.